Hey there, Shooby Doodlers. How are you doing? I've been having such a busy week. It's just been one of those kind of weeks. And this afternoon, having spent a whole morning doing this and that, thinking, right, I must do that video this afternoon. Then I thought, oh yes, now I better write that article. And then suddenly it's 5 o'clock, and I was going to make this video about all the kind of things I've been doing in my sketchbook recently. So let's not talk about it. Let's show you what I've been doing. Well, I've got various sketchbooks on the go at the moment, so I'll go through what I've been up to. I think that's where I left you last time. And this was, I went to the Cheltenham Book Festival, where I was kind of reading and showing how to draw things. And this was in the kind of the author room where all the authors and everybody goes. So I kind of bumped into a few famous people, as you do. And is the volume up? And I'm afraid I don't know who these two people were, but anyway, I drew them. And I don't know who this lady was, and she was being photographed with her books on my bag. This is my little character, Benny. You're going to start seeing a lot of Benny. I'm working on a book with Benny and his lady Penny, who is a cat. I think you're going to see a lot of them as that time goes on. Benny is kind of like my alter ego, really. He's a bit like me, so he's kind of I think I'm going to have him. I don't think he's going to be a children's book illustrator, but he's kind of a designer illustrator kind of character. And then this was when I was at the Lavenham Children's Book Festival with a wonderful James Mayhew, and he was showing us how to draw Gaspard the Fox, which is written by Zeb Soames of Radio 4 fame, whose wonderful radio voice. He was reading his story with his wonderful Radio 4 voice. And James is a friend of mine. He was showing us how to draw Gaspard the Fox. So I was just following along with his instructions and sort of following his style of drawing, which is quite interesting. And as you can see, that's all there is in that sketchbook. Now with Penny and Benny, I've got this kind of idea, and I wanted to... It's a book called Special Delivery. I'm working on it at the moment. You'll probably start hearing a lot about it. Now, in the story, I wanted to have a delivery van. I wanted it to be cute and kind of, you know, retro. And so I was looking at lots of different vans and kind of drawing them and trying to get a feel for what it is that makes a retro van. It's going to be driven by a bunny rabbit. And so it's just trying to get a kind of a feel for a retro van. And I think it needs to have this kind of curvy kind of feel. And so you just kind of draw again and again and again and look at all sorts of different vans. And here and more, and making it all different shapes. And I thought maybe make it more square. Maybe this has got a kind of more of an ice cream van kind of feel to it, I think. Certainly ice cream vans that we had over in this country, and that's got that kind of UPS boxy look about it. That's almost a deux chevaux there. I think if you're a big fan of vans and things like that, you probably might recognise what, you know, some things that these are built and constructed on. But I was trying to get a cuteness to this van. And then I was sort of going through these various things, and I wanted to have a big sign on the top as well, and how that would look. And then I discovered this, which is the 1936 Divco Helms, which is just, isn't that just fantastic? And what is this, bread, bakeries daily to your door, and it's almost like a tram. I think it's kind of built like a tram, and I thought, yes, that's the one I want. That's the one I want. I thought, so it's just really boxy, and it almost looks like a tin of biscuits, a tin of biscuits on wheels. So that's what I'm basing my little model on, and this is my kind of first little proper sketch of kind of what it's probably going to look like, something like that. So so that's in a kind of a workbook. It's a big kind of A4 workbook. So I went to visit a school in Brussels, and you can click up here to see about my visit to Brussels. And I took this little sketchbook along with me to an event evening, and so there were lots of kids doing Thriller, doing a big dance number, which is great fun. And then this is Marcus Sedgwick, the author, who was giving a talk about, will robots take my job? Oh dear. And this is Frances Harding, who's another children's author, which is a young adult author, I should say. They both do young adult books. And she always wears her hat, so I was drawing her. But it just wasn't quite the right sort of place to be drawing, really. And these were two young lads who were reading their stories, who were really good, actually, really good at delivering their stories. So I'll just cover up all these other things, which are sort of commercially sensitive things. So this was a guy going up to London. This was a guy on the train. And this was looking in the overhead mirror. We got new trains on the London line. They got very glassy things above your head where you put the suitcases and things like that. The luggage rack, very shiny, glassy thing. So I could see the guy on the other side reflected upside down. So I drew him upside down, reflected like that. And then I had a bit of time, so I went to the Victoria and Albert Museum, and I did some drawing there. I'm not sure. I think this is meant to be John the Baptist. I'm not quite sure. And here is some deep thing, some deep, meaningful idea that I've had, that I just can't read what I've said. And this is this great big mysterious painting about Saint Ursula and the 11,000 virgins, martyrs. They're all martyrs sort of flying off to heaven. But I love these sort of angels. They're souls rather than angels. These great long willowy wings, fabulous. And this is Saint Margaret herself with her binding ropes and stuff. And this was a carving of an angel's wing of the angel Gabriel. I was just sort of carving, drawing that. Well, I can't remember who that was. And then this was in the train station on the way home again, and I had a bit of time. This is Penny. Yeah, so Benny, who I showed you earlier, this is Penny, who is his other half. So she's quite a bit of fashion conscious. And I was having something to eat while I was waiting for the train. I had an hour to wait around the train station or something. And there's a great place where you can sit and kind of watch the whole train station and what's going on. And so I was just kind of drawing people and turning them into Penny in her different sort of outfits and things. And I thought maybe Benny's dad needs to come into my story, and he'd be a granddad. And I think this guy was some kind of a priest, I'm not sure. So these are all just people I spotted at the train station. And again, there's Penny. And all these kind of fashion victims. So this was also while I was in Brussels, and there was a poetry slam going on with all the younger kids, and they were all dressing up to this slam. So I didn't have much time at all. So I had, sort of seconds to do these drawings, really. And this was Richard, who was organising this poetry slam. He was absolutely brilliant. Had the whole school in the palm of his hand. He was brilliant. And these just quick, 10-second sketches. This was one of the teachers who just sort of made his costume. And then again, these were kids who were kind of all dressed up for the poetry slam for doing their poetry thing they were doing. This is the big one. So this was at Brussels airport, and I had a bit of time to spare, and I'd had something to eat, and I thought, what am I going to do now? So I just sat down and just started sort of drawing this scene, and this Smurf aeroplane flying over the top of it. These are kind of just sketches that I was doing for when I was at Cheltenham. I was showing kids how to draw dragons, so I had to kind of think about Chinese dragons and different dragons, which I draw dragons, but it's always good to have a little practice before you start showing people how to draw things. And another sketchbook. So this is my sort of new kind of current working sketchbook. I think this is Dad dancing. I think this is while I was watching the telly. I'm not quite sure. So I think quite a bit of this is just while watching the telly, I think. I was asked how to draw a deep sea diver helmet, so this is kind of practicing that for my Draw Stuff Real Easy channel, where I am still doing how to draw videos. If you're missing my how to draw videos, go over there and make sure you are subscribed. Click up here, up there, and you will go and find those videos. This is Penny. So I'm kind of doing these things on Instagram where I dress Penny up and do things. So I think it was the National Portrait Gallery did on Instagram a thing of Flora McDonald, so I kind of dressed her up in a similar kind of pose. And again, these are practice drawings for my how to draw a helmet, and I was also asked how to draw a viaduct or an aqueduct, so I was thinking about that. That's not quite right. I'm also thinking of doing a thing about the Cheshire Cat, how to draw the Cheshire Cat, and there's just other stuff. Submarines, I thought that would be quite interesting, how to draw a submarine, and a whole deep sea diver, which leads me on to Benny, of course, has to go deep sea diving. It's kind of it's a follow-in kind of thing, and he has to be chasing an octopus or something. Cheshire Cat, and back to Penny, you see. And a lot of this is about familiarising myself, so it's just, if I draw her every day, eventually I'll just be able to draw her. Well, I can sort of draw her, but she changes slightly each time, so it's kind of learning to draw her in exactly the same way every time. So these are more practice drawings for viaducts, well, aqueducts rather. So I might be doing that quite soon on Draw Stuff Real Easy. I saw an advert for a coffee thing, and I thought, oh, that's really simple. It's like I love coffee heart thing. I thought I might look into that, how to draw coffee beans. Sloths are taking over from unicorns, apparently. I had a conversation with a lady who runs one of those shops with, you know, all the stuff you never knew you wanted and probably didn't anyway. And I said to her, oh, so this is where you get all this unicorn stuff from? Oh, unicorns, she said, they're a bit old hat now. Sloths are the next thing. so I better do it, how to draw a sloth. Wishing well, I thought that'd be quite a good thing to draw, and an arch as well. And again, yesterday I had a bit of time. I had a meeting in London yesterday, and so I had a bit of time before, so I went to the Victoria and Albert Museum. I was just kind of looking at, this is the lady on a huge tapestry, which is called the Boar and Bear Hunt. And again, I've kind of done Penny in the same kind of thing. I think Penny would really like dressing up. I think she's that kind of a girl, really. And then after the meeting, I had a bit of time to go to the Natural History Museum, so where I sketched some of these things. And this amazing hingeback tortoise, it was a skeleton. And you can see these are the scapula, which are the collarbones here, but there's this extra bit of bone which is kind of fused out, and it's actually fused to the shell on the top as well. So the skeleton is actually fused in and sort of part of the shell, which I never knew before. That's a softback turtle. A rabbit fish is a very weird looking thing. This is a weird kind of sea urchin. It's very beautiful. Which could almost be like a jewel, not a jewel, a brooch or something you might wear. A lady might wear it. And this is something toad. They're the ones that have the little babies on the back, which is kind of giving me ideas. And on the way home, I had to draw Penny. So this is Penny. I've been noticing fashions. Penny is making me notice fashions. So I've signed up for various Instagram accounts for fashion Instagram accounts, so I can see what the latest thing is. And we went sort of Christmas shopping in Brighton last week, and I noticed this red coat is kind of a big hit this year, but also these frumpy dresses. There seemed to be a bit of an in thing. So I got Penny is loving this year's red coat, but what is all this frumpy chic? And so I kind of Instagrammed that, and this is just part of a campaign to get people used to Penny and Benny, I suppose, and also it's acclimatizing me to really get to know the characters and draw them in many different ways. And so there we go. That's where I am with my sketchbooks at the moment, all over the place. Well, thanks for watching, and as you can see, I'm still doing how to draw videos on Draw Stuff Real Easy channel, so why not go over there, click up here, and that will take you straight over to that channel where you can subscribe, where you can still get your fix of Shoo Rayner how to draw videos. In the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye bye.